Men assume they are donors. The only reason why they find themselves here is to keep releasing the spermatozoa and have as many children as they would want to have. They had forgotten that in parenting, you are accountable. You give account of your children before your Creator. All of us, we are going to stand before God and be accountable to the way we raised, we rear, and we bear our children. We live in a culture where people don't even get bothered about, let me just have children, let me have them, let me give birth to them, let me just have them. Dump them here. Whatever happens to them, so be it. Unfortunately, some now take a route of, I need a particular gender. I must give birth to a baby girl. I need boys. And sincerely, there's no child that is not a child. Most men are listening to me now and all they are looking for is a particular gender. They want children that would take after them, bear their names, and they go all the way. They reject children that are born. I remember some ladies went to a man, I'm just painting a picture, and they said, because we are women, we have our inheritance, give us. Guess what? The man went to God. I'm talking about Moses. Some daughters went to him, asking him, because we are girls, that doesn't mean that we don't have our inheritance. Give us our inheritance and let us move on with life. To show that God is gender blind, he actually gave them their inheritance by divine instructions. Those girls today have set a standard that there's no child that is a mistake. There's no child that is an accidental discharge. There's no child that came to this world because of coincidence. Everyone that is on this side of life has a destiny to fulfill. Having this at the back of your mind in parenting, especially men, you have all girls, and the next thing is you give birth to a girl again. You give birth to a girl again. It's another girl she has. Excuse me, science have said it. It is what you drop in the ovary of your wife that the wife produces. It has nothing to do with a woman when a woman is giving birth to all girls. It is what is in you. Please prove it scientifically. Google is your friend. Check. Who determines the sex of the child? It is written in black and white that it's the man, as a man, having to start bearing children in the name of, I must have a male child. It must be a boy. Now, pregnating your wife, it's not funny. Having to go to labor ward several times, to an extent that she had 7 girls. It's so painful bringing children to this world. Came to the family to drop their greatness, their destiny, whatever they want to become, handed it over to a family system. You are now choking the children because you are looking for a particular gender. Children that having them is a lot of work. In parenting, you have to be there mentally, emotionally, psychologically, financially, physically, when it comes to raising children. You can't raise a child casually or as if you are raising dogs. Even if you have puppies, you have to be intentional in raising them. To have them, to produce for you to be able to sell them if you want to sell your puppies, or to guard you if they are guard dogs. That is in the world of an animal. Not to talk of life. For you to reap the reward, to reap the harvest, of your labor, you have to invest. Mentally, emotionally, physically, financially, psychologically. The investment cannot be quantified by anything. It's not even quantifiable. The kind of investment you put into your children for them to become someone that will be proud of in life. I have a guest in the house. She has been through a lot because in the name of I want a male child, the father had 7 girls. 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I wish somebody had told him that, sir, don't try another one. It's going to be a girl. That's what you have in your seed. Even if they had told him, probably he wouldn't have listened. You know, it's a privilege to have somebody speak to you. And you listen in the spirit of being teachable, with humility of heart, telling yourself, probably this person is saying the truth. But you know, there are people that there's nobody that can tell them anything. They are God all by themselves. They built an edge around themselves that even God does not try to talk to them. God is always tiptoeing. God walks on eggshell around them. Some are like that. If you are like that, and this word is coming to you, you're going to learn from somebody's reality and story. This is the heels. Don't forget, subscribe to this channel, like, subscribe, and share. You might be dropping a word of wisdom to someone that this truth will set free. This guest I have in the house today, the thing she said is overwhelming. She never knew that being rejected, being abandoned, being left at the mercy of life, nieces, cousins, families. You know, when you have too many children, you throw them here and there. The father said to the mother, "You are all having girls. Girls, girls, girls." He didn't know that he's the father of the girls. He knew he's the father of the girls anyway, but probably he didn't know that he was the one that was producing what the wife was bringing out. A lot of people are living a life, they don't even know who wrote the script. They dance to different lyrics, not knowing the player. She's not the only one that would have been a victim of that circumstances. All the girls, the mother end up having 7 children in the name of we need to have a male child. Somebody had to take your inheritance. Somebody must be the one that would pick your name. You know how many bank managers, bank directors, bank owners, multi-billionaires that are women? I'm sure you agree with me that you've been in class before and the woman is stopping the class and all the guys are just watching. It means that when it comes to gender, you shouldn't be apprehensive, agitated, worried. I've seen some guys that have brought shame to the name of the family. What is important is one thing: invest in your children, male or female. They will pay it back in multiple fold for you. I've seen some cultures that don't even invest in female children. They will just tell themselves, "You are still going to go to your husband's house. You're still going to change my name. We are not the same. We're not going to have the same name. I just need a male child." Excuse you. Sincerely, nobody knows a child that will stay with you when you are at your sick bed or death bed. Invest in your children, you will harvest it. Give them your best shots. Don't bother about the gender. Looking for a gender, a particular sex of a child, has brought a lot of people to a place where they don't even know what to do. My guest is one of them. She found herself in a family or in the life of a father that was poisoned, contaminated by insinuating, telling him who is going to bear your name, who is going to take your inheritance, who are you going to hand over the assets to. These girls will go to their husband's house. These girls will change their names. He tried and tried. Nothing worked. My guest is in the house. No name, no face, no identity. She has her story to tell. Life has beaten me black and blue. Sexually molested, not knowing what she's doing, lost herself to her pain, lost herself to her rejection, lost herself to being abandoned, lost her identity, lost her dignity, lost her worth to my father is looking for a male child. We are 7 girls thrown away. Yes. Let me hear your story. Welcome. Thank you for coming. Thank you for being vulnerable. Thank you for opening your heart to the hills for people to heal and to hear your story. Go ahead, ma.
Thank you so much, ma, for having me. My story goes thus. I came from a family of 7 girls. We're 7 girls, and along the line, my dad, started listening to family. Initially, we were not living in the village among his family, among his brethren. So when he retired from the military, we went back to his hometown because that was where he built a house there. So we went back there. So when we got there, that was when he was a loving father. He was this father that cared so much. He would buy our clothes, so many beautiful things for us. But along the line, we just discovered that he started withdrawing his fatherly role. So we're very young, we didn't know what was happening. So whenever my mom confronts him that, your children's school upkeep or uniform or so, he will beat my mother up. This beating is not just beating that will lead to fainting.
When a soldier man slaps you and you died 5 years after, it's still the beating that killed you. So I understand what it means to masculinely beat a woman as a husband because she's asking for the children's upkeep. It
was so terrible that people that knows us around that place, if we were to hear this story, they will remember what I'm saying now. That people will gather in our house to come and separate them when he's beating my mom. But after some time, people no longer they don't come again. They won't bother to come. So some of them were advising my mom, you better pack your load and leave. This man will kill you. But one thing is that she refused to leave. Because then I could remember she always say, who will I abandon these 7 children for?
Hear me. Your husband is beating you in the presence of your children. You are mentally abused, emotionally abused, psychologically abused, physically abused. You think your children does not know. They know. They understand. They have insight. Children feels the atmosphere. Children sense if there is peace, if there is sanity, if there is serenity in a home. They know. So please don't think your child does not know that there's a tension in the home. I'm not even talking about beating now. I'm talking about the tension, being tensed up. Go and meet your mom. Go and meet your dad. Leave this place. Get out of here. All of you, leave. They know that something is wrong. not to talk of beating a woman, your wife, physically, and you are telling me you are staying there because of the children. She's one of them. I've said it over and over and over in different episodes. Your children are there. The children that you refuse to leave and seek help for will end up damaged. This is one of them. Go ahead with your story.
Whenever he's around, you see this aggression around him. I was very young then, but I could understand what was happening. You know, he was no longer the loving father he used to be. So after some times, he said he's not going to stay in that state, in Ekiti state again. He left. He said he's going to his mother's place, that he wants to go and start. He has a land there. He wants to go and do plantation. That he wants to go into full-scale farming. So he left, not knowing that he was looking for an opportunity to just abandon. He's still in quest of looking for a male child. So he left. He just left. He will just go for some months. He will not come. He will not come home. So we were left to cater for ourselves. As young as, I think I was around 19 then. Right from that age, I've started sponsoring myself in school, because we'll go out to do bricklayer work. We'll go and do bricklayer work for people. They will pay us. I think then they pay us 40 naira, little. There was a day we were asked to pay 160 naira in school. I myself, I have to work for 4 days before I could get the money. So at times we abandon school for like 2 weeks, for a whole term. We'll not go to school. So that we can get money. At least we were so passionate, because we were very brilliant in school. So it was like, what is going on? So we don't want to abandon our school. So we just struggle. Everybody will struggle. At times my mom will say, okay, you wait. Let this one go first. When this one finish, you will go. That was how I and my immediate senior sister, we were in the same class all through. Because there was a time I have to step down. There was a time she too have to step down. Because the father was no longer there. He left. And he went in search for male child. For years. He will come home. He will just come in the middle of the night. He will arrive. Early the following morning, he will just pick few clothes and go again. That was how...
I'm thinking, let me picture. Maybe when he comes in the middle of the night, he will still want to come and have sex with your mom.
Yes, he do.
See,
with fights. With fights. We'll be hearing these fights.
I knew it now. Because, you know, when you talk like that, and he will go and come back once in a while. So he just comes in to relieve himself sexually with the wife, with beating, and still go back.
Yes. When we now, he will drive us into a room, because the house was like a flat. So he will pursue us into a room. So I will be hearing the scream. As my mother is screaming in the room, we'll be hearing this. He will be beating the woman. He will still have sex with her. So in the morning, we will now see my mom lying lifelessly. So some people in the neighborhood will now invite maybe a nurse to come and treat her, or they will take her to the hospital. If my father is around, he will not even bother. But most times, he always leave early in the morning. He will go. He won't tell us where he's going to. He will just walk, go like that. That was how we're living our life. And this thing started having effect on us. One, our education was nothing to write home about. Because the school itself, they invited him several times. He will not go, because he was so... There's this respect they have for him initially, because we're so brilliant in school. So there's this respect. So they invited him. He will not come. They came to our house. He will not go. He will not answer them. At times he will be inside. He will tell them that he should not come out and meet you there. Don't let me come out and meet you. Leave my... So that was how everybody just left. So we were left to cater for ourselves. Along the line, they now say, okay, me particularly, I should go and live with one of his younger sister in Edo State. His younger sister was part of the advisor, the wrong advisor he has. But he didn't know. He thought maybe they loved him. So
what was the advice that he was given?
That all this, you are just wasting your time on these female children. Don't you know that female children, they will change their surname? That who is going to carry on with the name? Who is going to bear your name? And you are wasting all your energy, paying school fees, doing all kind. Why not look for another woman? It's the same person that I was asked to go and live with. So when I got there, the woman actually put me in school. But, you know, a school that you go, you resume 10 a.m. When your mates are already there. You have to go and you cook. You be the one to wake up early in the morning and fetch water. And you walk till around 10 a.m. I will always be the one that will go last to school and leave early. Because at times they might send someone to come and call me. The school is not far from the shop where she's selling food. So that was how I was living my life. And in that journey of living with her, I was abused sexually by an elderly man.
Wow. So in the process,
yes,
an adult began to sexually abuse you. Wow. At what age is that?
At the age 12, 13.
Wow.
I was still in primary school, 12, 13, because my aunt sells food. So whenever I come back from school, she will ask me to go and pick firewood in a sawmill. So, and the gate man of the sawmill is an elderly man. They call him also the very old man. So this man will say, they have locked the gate where I should come in. So as young as I was then, she practically abused me.
The soldier man?
Yes. I was abused. Seriously abused.
How?
When I got there, initially he was friendly.
So it started being friendly.
Yes, it started being friendly.
That's what pedophiles does. Rapists, that's what they do. They will come as friends.
Yes.
Teach your children. If any man brings you to a corner and say, oh, I like you, you're a good girl, let me buy you something, tell your kids to run. That's what they do. Yes, your experience, I'm listening.
So he will put me on his lap. He will put me, I started, touching my body. How are you? You are very beautiful. You are very beautiful. Starts putting his hand into my private parts.
Wow.
He does that for a long period. The first thing I noticed with me was that I withdrew. I was no longer the myself.
The exciting, the nice,
yes,
the buoyant girl, the vibrant girl,
yes,
that you used to be. You started withdrawing. Parents, when you notice, a woman is given 38 solid powers. One of them is a power of intuition. One of them is a power of sensitivity. Your daughter, your son, the moment you notice a change, pride, go deep into that child's thoughts. Go deep into their emotions. Ask them questions as parents. Hug them. Hold them. Love them. Let them tell you whatever is going on in their mind. If you are not available, you are not accessible, you are not there, they will keep those secrets from you. She said, what happened after the molestation is withdrawal. She went back to her shell. She became a shadow of herself. And that is how it happens. She just changed. Go ahead with your story.
So, and this is a woman that she's so busy with selling food. Nobody even care. Maybe you exist or not. So I was just all by myself. So it was my teacher that noticed in school. So one day she called me. She said, what is the matter? That she noticed that I'm not always not as happy as I used to be. He said, that woman that you stay with, is she your mother? I said, no. He said, what is wrong with you? I said, nothing. So most times she will call me during break time. She will ask me to sit down by her side. But I could not see anything. There was nobody to talk to. Even the auntie I was staying with, she's a bit tough that I can't approach her. If I tell her such thing, she will beat hell out of me. It will be beating because she won't be able to go and confront that man.
So now, the point is, and I got something there, meaning that when a child comes home to say, this uncle touched me, touched my private part, touched my breast, touched my pants, the next thing you as parents would think that is the fault of the child. Because she said she wouldn't have been able to go back to the man to confront the man. So the anger, the aggression, the reaction to the fact that your child said she's been molested is to now beat the child. I know some of you are like that. Some have done it before. A child came home and said, this uncle did this to me. He did that. You are beating your child. Is it your child you are supposed to beat? Or the pedophile, or the abuser, or the rapist? You are supposed to go headlong with the person that your child reported to you, not beating the child and assuming it was your child's attitude and manners. I've even had a lot of mothers who say, look at you, you always want to shake yourself. You are working, you are acting as if you are a prostitute. Telling a child, a 10-year-old child, an 11-year-old child, a 7-year-old girl, telling the girl that the way you are working, you like playing with boys. What does that mean? Why are you thinking like that? Are you so ignorant to know that a child will be friendly with anyone, whether male or female? And some of you, you give birth to a child. You will now look at that child eyeball to eyeball. You will now tell yourself that your daughter is a shewo, a prostitute. Your daughter that is innocent. You start insinuating words, negative words to them. Sit down very well. See how you're opening yourself. That's not how to raise a child. You communicate, you talk, you explain to a child. You let children know that there are guys out there that are molesters, pedophiles, destroyer of children. They are there everywhere. They are your driver. Some of them are your cleaners. Some of them are your maids. Some of them are your stewards. Some of them are the people around in the neighborhood. Go and pack firewood. You heard that story. Messing up with our private parts. You have to be intentional. You have to be careful. You have to be sensitive and be sensible. When you damage a child's sexuality, you've damaged the future of that child. Mentally, emotionally, psychologically, physically, even financially. Is a child that is sane sexually. Is a child that is comfortable in herself and that her self-esteem has not been damaged by wrong sexual activities that would produce what you desire to our world and to your world too. Oh my days. Go ahead with your story.
So after then, my mom occasionally come to see me. So on one of her visits, she just noticed that I was no longer the vibrant girl she used to. So she called me and said, what is the matter? That I noticed you are not happy. I said nothing. I didn't tell her anything. She said, do you want to go with me? I said, yes. So she said, okay, whenever I'm going, be crying and tell your auntie that you want to go with me. So that was how I started crying. So my auntie, my dad's younger sister, and I said, why are you crying? I said, I want to follow my mommy. And I said, you want to go with your mother? No problem. If you are going, you can go with her. So she said it jokingly, and immediately I started packing my clothes. The following day, that was how I followed my mom. So when I now followed her back to Ekiti State, so that was when the reality was now dawned on me that something has actually happened to me.
Meaning that when you started hearing some of your mates, the children around,
yes,
talking about chastity, yes, purity, yes, keeping your virginity,
yes,
and also when you begin to see yourself from the angle of in church, yes, when they talk about keep yourself pure, yes, don't allow a man to touch you anyhow, yes, then the whole shame, the guilt, the realization just came to you that, yay, I'm dirty, I'm filthy, yes, I've messed up my life.
Yes.
It's not your fault, it's the fault of that old man. Go ahead with your story.
But I could not share it with anybody. I couldn't share. I just bottle it up, and I was just living my life like that. But I was hurting within me. I was seriously hurting. And after then, I finished my secondary school. So I was asked, I came to Ibadan to stay with my sister so as to further my education. I actually wanted to sit for GC, so I came to Ibadan. So that was when the whole thing started manifesting. I just discovered that I don't like men around me. I just hate them. And in fact, my first casualty was my sister's fiancé. Anytime she's around, we always fight. We don't like each other at all, for no reason. He
never molested you. He never did anything like that. It's trauma. You've been traumatized.
Even himself, he couldn't understand what is the issue is. Several times, the issue will cause misunderstanding between them. I say, what did I do to this girl? But nobody knew what that I don't just want them around. Whenever I see him with my sister, I would just feel irritated.
Every man,
yes,
as a pedophile, as an abuser, as a rapist. The picture of a man that is being painted to you is the picture of that old man that molested you.
Not even that old man, even my father that abandoned us. You know, the whole thing I just see men as if, who are you people safe? For God's sake. That was how the thing continued. This issue of not liking him made me, I left them. I joined, there was a company that was a marketing company in Ibadan then at Agodi. They were looking for sales people. I had to follow them. I didn't inform my sister. Out of that hatred for the man, for his fiancé, I left them. I just picked few clothes as young as, I think I was 19 or so then. I was not up to 20 years. I just left them and I went to Niger State. I followed the company to Niger State. I didn't inform them. Because
you don't mind to be looked for as if you have lost than having anything to do with a male figure.
I don't want.
Because the picture of every man in your life is toxic. Wow.
So I was just seeing him as if you are just coming to deceive this woman. If this woman gave birth to female children.
If my father deceived my mom, having so many children, abandoned her, how much more you? And the old man too that did his own.
So all men are just the same. You know, that mentality was just there. I just look at him and say, I beg, all men, all of you are the same. So I left. I traveled to Niger State. When I got to Niger State, I was so happy. At least I'm in a new place now, you know. Nobody know me. At least I can. So I discovered that the confidence started coming back because I was now among, different set of people.
Wow.
So the confidence started coming. Not until when my pastor tried to rape me.
Hey! Wow. Your pastor started his own molestation.
Yes.
Now, if you are wounded out there, probably the world, your daddy, your old man, when you get to be wounded where you're supposed to be protected, when the shepherd over your life, somebody that you held in high esteem, begins to make sexual advances at you, that's the peak of pain. Please share that experience with us. Practically, don't forget, no name, no face, no identity. Go ahead.
Now, when I got to Mina, like I said, it's like I picked up my normal life again. So I was working with the marketing company, go out for marketing. So my break time, we had to have break time every day. So I had a place where I used to learn computer. So I would go there for 2 hours and learn computer. And on Sunday, I worship with a particular, I don't want to mention the name of the church, it's a popular church in Nigeria. So I would go and worship with them on Sunday because they camped us somewhere. There's a place where they camped us, that we, the marketers, that we will market for new products. The man is into general marketing. So in that church, like I said, I started picking up my enthusiasm again, being that I'm in a new environment. Nobody knows me. It's like where I was before. I used to see people as if they know about what happened to me. That's the way I used to see myself. But when I now got to Mina, I discovered that, oh, this is a new place. I think I can live my normal life here. No family, nobody. So I was so active in the church. So the pastor one day he called me, said that I've been coming to this church. He just wants to know about me. And I explained, I said, well, we came for marketing for like 6 or 9 months. We will still go back. He said, no problem. So I joined the choir and I was doing well. So in the long run, I finished with the computer school. And I shared the testimony in the church that we came here for marketing. I did computer for 3 months. I thank God that I finished. That was how the pastor started coming close to me. So one day he called me, said he wants to see me in the church for counseling. I came. He said, would I like to work in Abuja? Do you want to work in Abuja? That he has a new computer outfit that he wants me to come and work there. Oh, I was so happy. I said, fine. I would love to go there, with the belief. Now I started seeing. I was not looking at men the way I was looking at them before, because I just see myself as if here nobody knows me. So it's like I'm just starting afresh. So the man said, when I came to the office, the man said, if you want to go to Abuja, tell them that you have gotten a job in Abuja. So out of this confidence I had in him that he is my pastor, like a father, I found a new family where I can express myself. Nobody knows about my past. Nobody knows me. So I just told him, I said, sir, yes, I will go. He said, do you have a family in Abuja? I said, yes, I have, but it's a distant relative. But I will look for her. I don't have her detail, but I will look for her. I know she works with the Minister of Education. If I get to the Minister of Education office, I will get her. I said, at least I know that if I can locate her, I will be fine. So she said, no problem, that if I don't mind her sister have a house, I can stay with her sister. I said, well, all the same, I will still look for my family there. That was how I followed this man to Abuja. On our way in Zuba, as we were coming, we left on Friday. We left because he is working with Railway Corporation. We left after closing from work around 4. By the time we get to Zuba, there's a place called Zuba before Abuja, when you're coming from Mina. He said it's already late, that we should lodge in a hotel. I was still so naive then. I never imagined that, somebody that is a pastor is like a father to me. The way we used to respect them, I never had anything in mind. He said we should lodge. Ignorantly, he paid. I don't know anything. I was just following. He paid, and he collected the key, and we went and he opened the door, and he said, I said, sir, no, I can't stay here. He said the time, I said, please, maybe we should go back to Mina, or we should be going, or I will sleep in the reception. He said, okay, I should come and sleep in the room. He will go and look for somewhere to sleep. This man came in the night. He wanted to rape me. He wanted to rape me right there. So we started struggling. I struggled with him and I pushed him. That was how I left. So when I got to the reception, the lady there was already sleeping. When the lady woke up, he saw me, say, oh, no. I said, no problem, that we'll soon be going. Shamelessly, the man came out. He already freshened up. He came out and we started the journey. Till we got to Abuja, I didn't say a word. That was how the whole thing started playing back. I've entered another one chance again. I said, okay, I summoned courage. I said, no, I'm not going to be discouraged. When I get to Abuja, I will locate my sister. I think that is better. We started. Till we got to Abuja, everybody was just looking. I was looking, he didn't say anything, I didn't say anything.
He didn't even apologize.
He didn't say anything.
And you could not say, Pastor, Daddy in the Lord, spiritual father, why did you try to sleep with me again?
When we got to Abuja,
you didn't even know my story. When people are addicted to sex, they take unreasonable risk. He doesn't know if you're a spirit. He does not know if you're HIV positive. Honestly. He doesn't know if you have one power that can kill him. They just take risk. Come on.
So he has his family in Mina, but he lives in Abuja. So my mind was at rest that, okay, I have 2 people now. that I can locate my sister, I can locate the other pastor. So when we got to Abuja, he said he will take me to his sister's house that I should sleep. That the following, for the weekend, that on Monday he will come and pick me to take me to the office. I said. So when I got to Abuja, I just look for where they are calling. Then they used to call for all this 2020 naira call. I just look for a phone and I call the other pastor. I said, Pastor, I'm in Abuja, I need to see you. He said, where are you? I said, I'm in Kubo. I said, okay. Can you wait till on Monday? I said, yes. So on Monday I went to him. I told him, I said, Pastor Sam tried to rape me. He said, how? I explained. He said I should not worry, that I should forget it, that we thank God that the thing did not happen, that I should just forget it, that it's the work of the devil.
It's not the work of the devil, it's addiction. The man has addiction problem. His brain has been hijacked by sex. He's also damaged. That's why he's damaging other people. So if you are struggling with your sexuality and you are watching this program, you are living on a borrowed time. Somebody will expose you. It's a matter of time.
So he said, okay, what do I want to do? I said, I have a sister that I can't work with this man. I don't trust him again. That I have a sister, please let me just go to my sister or I'll go back to Ibadan. So the pastor said that I should not go back, that since I'm already here, I should not worry, that he's going to monitor everything and he's going to talk to him, that I should still go and work with him. Reluctantly, I actually worked with him for like 9 months. But
worked with the same person?
Yes, but there was no conversation. At the end of the month, he has a manager that manages the place, so I was just a computer operator. So they pay my salary. Whenever he comes around, he say, how are you doing? I say, fine. He will just go, walk away. So our conversation was like a boss and a worker. But I knew anytime I see him, I started seeing him as you call yourself a pastor. All of you are the same. So that was how the whole thing started manifesting again. Although he himself was not free like before again. He wasn't free. So at times he would just talk to me as if talk to me rashly. I say, I'm sorry, sir. So in the long run, I left. When I now saw my sister, I explained things to her that the man tried to rape me, but my sister said I should be very careful, that she will get me another job. So along the line, I went to live with my sister. So when I live with my sister, it's now time. At least I finished my ND there. I actually schooled there in Abuja. I finished my national diploma. So men started coming along the line. While in school, I started seeing, men started wanting to go out with me, boyfriend, girlfriend. That was when the whole issue started. Nobody. I was like, how do I...
rigid, like an iron woman, iron lady, because of the abuse.
Nobody.
You just shut down completely.
I shut them down. Nobody. If you talk to me about I like you, it's going to be a big fight.
When you are not healed of your trauma, when you are not healed of your pain, you bleed on other people that did not cut you. That was exactly what happened here. An unhealed emotional wound is a time bomb, is an accident that is about to happen. No matter how long that wound has stayed in your soul, he needs to be out. What is not dead cannot be buried. What is not dead cannot be buried. If that impact of rape, molestation, verbal abuse, emotional abuse, psychological abuse, physical abuse, if that wound is not healed, you will keep repeating the pattern of your pain. I don't know how old is she. I'm still going to ask her age. But the point is that those episodes, father abusive, grandpa, old man abusive, pastor abusive. What else? What picture again does a man wants to paint in her life? And that's why getting married, even if she was not hostile to men and she was not reactive to men, getting married, a man will suffer it. Some of you are suffering because somebody messed up somebody. Hurting people hurt people. You are suffering, you are struggling because a pastor, a father, a friend, a cousin, a niece molested you, and you keep transferring the aggression. And that's why in this profession we don't blame people. I need to ask her about her dad. Something must have happened there. Transferred it to the children. Ask the pastor. Somebody must have molested the pastor. Ask the old soldier, the man, the grandpa. Somebody must have done that. When people are not healed of their wounds, they keep repeating the same pattern over and over again in different forms and shades. The shade of our own side of the reaction to trauma is, I don't want to see a man, I cannot handle a man. Some is, every man must sleep with me. That is some people's shades of reaction to trauma. But whatever it is, you need to heal. And I will say this again, emotional wounds are not healed in isolation. They are not healed by themselves. You need to check into a therapy. You need to work on it. You need to heal in and out. You can't heal in isolation. You can't heal alone. You heal through therapy. You heal through a counselor. That is where you find your peace. You know that if I can share with this person, I can open up to this person, at least for the first time. Like she said, she's sharing this for the first time. When you start sharing it in a safe place, I need to make that point known. It must be a safe place. It's not just anywhere. You don't go on the street and start sharing your stories. No. Tell someone that will help you to heal, take you through the process of recovery, one day at a time. It's like peeling an onion. Get it off your chest and know, by the time you're healed, you will know that it is not all men are like your dad that dumped you and abandoned you. It is not all men that like that old man that molested you. It is not all men like the man that raped you. It is not all men like the man that sexually assaulted you. It is not the same person. It is in therapy you are healed in and out. You are reorientated. You are made to realize that somebody else can do something to you badly. Another person doesn't have to do it. And that is exactly what happens to people when their wounds are not healed. You will keep looking at every human being in the picture of your abuser. Go ahead with your story.
So that was how I started living my life. I don't want to see any man. I was very brilliant in school, even in the national diploma, that you see guys around me. You see boys around me, they just want to, you are so brilliant, we want to be your friend. I said, which friend? I don't want you. I don't want you as friend. There was a particular one that was so, he was somehow a cultist. He was part of this cultist guy then. But he always come around me. So he was so bent that, no, you, don't worry. Maybe you say you are stubborn. So, but at the end of the day, there was a day he said, only mo bury fun e. Because I told him, I said, you lied. So at the end of the day, I said, what am I dragging with men? That was of free sense. What am I even dragging with men? So, but before then, when I left, I eventually left Abuja. I came back to Ibadan. When I now came back to Ibadan, so I pick up my life again. I was now at marriageable age. That, family have started asking, where is your...
How old are you at the moment?
I'm 48.
Wow! Childhood wound, childhood trauma keeps you stuck, pegged your life. She's 48. Are you married?
No. Wow. So they started asking, where is your husband? When are you bringing husband home?
At 48.
I now said, okay, let me give them a chance. Not that they were not coming.
At what age did you said, okay, let me start giving men trials? What
I
age?
think I was close to 40. Because my mind was shut down concerning men. Marriage was not even, marriage was not even, because I just see them as, once they start coming, once they start coming around me, I would just feel like, you again? All of you are the same thing. So my mind was already.
And you are so beautiful, even at 48. You don't look 48 at all. Wow.
So that was how the journey was. So at a point, some people started saying, "Hey, are you sure this is not a spiritual?" In fact, this aspect, I want you to expatiate on this aspect. You see, what I notice is that I'm so sorry to say, our religious bodies, especially we Christians,
church don't understand trauma. They don't understand abuse.
A lot.
I understand that you get to a place in your life, in your trauma, in your pain, that it becomes a stronghold.
Yes.
And it could be spiritual. But 99.9% of the things that takes us to church for healing, for deliverance, for, freedom from all these bondages, it stems from childhood trauma, childhood wound, childhood traumatic experiences. That is the root. Now, if it is becoming a super stronghold, anointing breaks the yoke. I can tell you testimonies of so many people that were under that spell of being assaulted as a child, being molested, that they were able to break loose. But there are some that, while they are dealing with their emotional struggles, while they have dealt with the spiritual dimension, they still need a therapist, a counselor. Most people that have been freed. Now, what is a therapist? Who is a therapist? Who is a counselor? A therapist is someone you are able to express your feelings to. It's just about, I'm feeling sad today. I thank God my freedom, I've been prayed for, I've gotten my deliverance. Okay, a guy came to me and I'm still afraid. What do I do? That is just checking into therapy, getting someone to help you to process what you have been delivered from. So the two works as one. So don't wholeheartedly just conclude it's deliverance. They will pour oil on your head, step on your head, lay hands on you. You from some assault, you stand up, you wake up, and you're still struggling. The moment after being prayed for, after your deliverance, you need to get someone, a counselor or a therapist. Now, hear me. Counseling is a profession. Therapy is a profession. Being a pastor does not make you a counselor. If you want to be a counselor, you go and learn the job of counseling. Being a pastor does not make you a therapist. You go learn the job of being a therapist. If you don't go to learn it, respect professionals. People that call themselves pastors, they have chosen that as their vocation. People that call themselves counselors, they've chosen it as their vocation. A psychologist has chosen it as their profession. It's only in the kingdom, like you said, we don't respect professionals. I know you use glasses, though no name, no face, no identity. I use glasses. I have an optician. I have tooth issues. When I turned 60, I began to see a dentist. I had issues with my knees, arthritis. I saw a physio. Working out, losing weight. I had surgery some years back. We had over 10 people at the surgery table just to do surgery for one person. How much more would a shepherd, a pastor, want to man everything? We are complementing each other. We are not competing. People need to understand that people that are professionally trained to handle life, pass it to them. Even in the natural, when you go to the hospital and you see a doctor, he will refer you to another doctor that is witty in that area of your need. A general physician will not do a general treatment. They refer you after some time. Yes, I'm saying that because you made me to know that church religion has really, really done harm in this area. Share some of your experiences with me that you had in a religious organization, trying to let you know that not being married at 48, there are some spirits.
Yes.
There's no doubt there could be some spirits, but listening to your story from the beginning made me to realize that you became a trauma-based person in bondage. Let me put it that way. Go ahead.
Now, at a point, some people started advising me, why not go to this church for deliverance? In fact, in some of my going for deliverance, I tried to talk to some of them. I didn't really open up that I was abused. This is the family I came from, but I tried to tell them that I don't know. I don't know why I don't like men around me. One of them told me that he said I should go for, I think, 21 days fasting and prayer also. Some will say, you need deliverance. You come for 3 days deliverance. They could not really understand what was, I was expecting them to, like you said, this therapy stuff that you really need to be. There was no counseling. They would just say, it's a spiritual problem. So I just concluded. If I met one, he said, the only deliverance I need now is for him I should lie down. He's a man. Oh.
Another person?
Yes. He will sleep. That's the deliverance that I need. He will sleep on top of me like this. Once he does that, I'll be delivered. I will not hate men.
So when he sleeps on top of you, he will not have erection. He's a wound.
I will start loving men.
Hey! Another wound.
He said, that's the deliverance. And I told the lady that introduced me, I said, look at this, your pastor. This is what he said. The lady said, if that is the solution, I should is it not to just lie down and... He said, even Paul, when somebody was trying to refer me to something that happened in the Bible, that Paul has to lay on top of the child.
It's not Paul. I think it's this Elijah. Yes. So are you a baby?
He had to lay for that baby to be healed.
Oh my goodness.
I said, good.
Perversion, pollution, contamination. What?
There was a time I even stopped going to church. I didn't go to church for some time. Because...
Now let me help the body of Christ with this truth. When you get people born again, don't dump them in the choir. Don't make them pastors. Don't make them intercessors. Ask them, what did you carry? What did you carry? Ask them about their background, where they are coming from. Jesus said it in Matthew 12:43-45. He said, when an unclean spirit goes out of a man, he walks through dry places, seeking rest and findeth not. When those spirits that left you at Calvary, at being born again, when they come to check you and they don't find you accountable, accountability is therapy. Accountability is having to be transparent to someone. Accountability is telling someone your story before you became born again. It wouldn't have deteriorated to this age if you had opened up to someone, telling the person, this was what my daddy did to us. I have father's issue. This was what my grandpa, an old man, did to me. I just hated men even before I became an adult. This is what. You would have shared that story. Based on that, when that spirit comes back to checkmate you and make you hate men, because you are accountable, you are in therapy, you would have spoken to your therapist and say, ma or sir, depending on who is treating you, I don't understand. I don't really like men. They will check your files. That is what churches, pastors, clerics should do. Ask every convert, tell me your story. Where are you coming from? That will help you to raise a healthy believer, not somebody that is loaded and is wounded. How high can you fly with a bag of cement on your head? How high can you fly with weight? Nobody flies with weight. You drop the weight, you jettison. You fly when you are free. David said, if I have wings like a dove, I will fly. People fly when they are not having weight on their head. You know how many believers are struggling with their baggages and their stock. Look at you, 48. You are not accepting proposal. You were trying to seek deliverance. The man of God was quoting Bible wrongly. That Elijah slept on the baby that was dead. Are you dead? Are you a baby? I mean, it's just... Now, look at that. That prophet that told you that you have to lay on him is also having a baggage. Ask him about his sexual history. Ask him about his background. I think the body of Christ, the church, would have to wake up to the fact that scriptures that Jesus said, red letter, Matthew 12:43-45, he will come and check you. If he find that place kept, swept, and garnished, he will come back with stronger demons, stronger forces. It's going to look like you have not been born again. But if you have told someone, you are accountable, you are in therapy, the moment the thought is coming to you, what would you do? You quickly tell the person.
So I started having this dislike for men. It was so strong that I could not really control it. So at the end of the day, I had to move to a location where a Christian environment. I actually moved to a Christian, I don't want to mention, but I found myself in a purely Christian environment. So I was there, I was living there, and I had the opportunity to work in the departments in one of the church there. The department where they cater for people that have issues, maybe widows, less privileged, downtrodden. So while working there, I started listening to your program. It's not your state, but I could connect. Because even while I was in Ibadan, I always listened to She Matters. But I would just listen but it was while working there, whenever I listened to your program, that thing would tell me, don't you think you need to share your story? Or you think it's because you bottle up. That's why you are having this issue. Why not talk? Why not say it out? But I could not trust anybody.
Of course, trust is killed
because
at the beginning.
At that stage if I should tell anybody, they would take advantage of me. Because they will see it as if, let me break the yoke now. Because they see it as a yoke. Like that prophet that he says it's a yoke, that he will break it. That's what he told me.
By lying on your
Yes.
head.
So
on your body.
So while I was working there, I came across a particular lady. I think her case was also similar to my own case. She was abandoned. She was even pregnant. She got pregnant and gave birth to a baby girl. So the lady was now bearing her son name. And I said, why is the lady... When I saw her own name, I saw her daughter's name. And I said, this son name, is it your husband? He said, no, it's her father's name. I said, why is the lady bearing your father's name? He said, because the father is not responsible. He cannot even locate the father. So that was how we got talking. We talked for a long period. He now opened up to me. We cried. We both cried. In fact, I cried that day. That was the beginning. That cry was the beginning of my deliverance. We both cried. We wept. So she said, since then, she has been carrying her burden, that she cannot trust all these pastors to share the story, that she's just keeping it to herself. I said, no, you have shared it with me. You have breakthrough, but who am I going to share mine with? That was when I called you that year ago, that can I come and share my story? I think I know that by the time I start sharing it, I will be relieved.
Yes, so you are sick as your secret. Yes, definitely.
So since then, I've been writing. I've been compiling. Anytime I remember, I'll write it down, that this is what I'm going to say.
Wow.
So along that line, God now ministered to me that you have found a ministry.
Wow.
You have found a ministry.
Your mess becomes your message. Your mess becomes your ministry.
Yes.
Your mess becomes your mandate.
Yes.
Wow.
This is a ministry you are going into. People like this are in the society. People like you, they are there. They have nobody to talk to. You have to start it. So quickly, I started a program on YouTube.
Wow.
I started talking about domestic violence.
Because you saw it, you experienced it.
Life experience.
Your mommy will beat your daddy to almost to death.
In fact, to almost death. So I started talking about it, domestic violence. You always beat women. If you beat a woman, you are beating yourself. So I started talking. So that was what prompted me to start a foundation. I started a foundation. I went to a Bible college along the line. So when I graduated, the Holy Spirit said, you should start that ministry, to start talking to people like this lady. There are so many. It was then I now discovered that there are so many of them in the society. Even some people that are in the marriage, they are enduring it.
Yeah.
I told you I live among Christians. That was when my eye opened. I now discovered that some are not even physically abused. Emotionally, they are abused in the marriage. Psychologically, the abuse is so many. Different kind of abuse. Some started coming to me for counseling. So at times when they come, I say, people, they don't even know that I'm not married. You mean that you are coming to, I'm not married yet, but I will be saying it within me. I now open to one of them one day, I say, I'm not married though. He said, but the advice I gave to him, they took to it and the family came back together.
Yes, now. You know, you remember Abraham, he was helping, he was praying for people that didn't have children, and he didn't have. Anointing speaks more than what anybody can think.
I now opened up to him, I said, me that you are coming to, I'm not married yet. We got talking and I was able to explain. I didn't explain my story to her, I just told her that my story is similar to yours. So she was shocked and said, hey, Auntie, you too, you explain this kind of a thing. I said, almost. But do you know what? That God that brought me out will also deliver you. That this is what you are going to do. Let's get you a job first. Got her a job, got her a place to stay. And that was how she picked up her life. So in that journey, God started ministering to me that there are so many people walking around. People like you. That you need to take your message. You need to take this message to them. You need to that I want to use you. I can use you because I have a first life experience. That was how I started a program on YouTube, on Facebook. So I started talking. People would call me and they would say I should counsel them, I should advise them, I should do this. I say, oh, even pastors. There's one of them that had issue with his marriage. They came to me. And within me, I was like, these people, if only you know that I'm not married.
You know, when she was saying that if you know, you know, if you don't know, you know, I'm not married. You know, sometimes people think it's only when you are married that you become an imparter. Or when you have everything going well, everything is fine, you are prime and proper. No. Many a times, God takes you through the journey of your life to be able to become a wounded healer, to become a blessing to other people. Honestly, if she has not felt that pain, if she has not touched it, if she has not handled it, she can never ever be a blessing in that area. The person that is healed becomes a master in mending. It is the healed that becomes a master in mending. When you are completely healed, then you can help other people to mend their lives and bring them out of their various cocoon where they are struggling and they are gasping for breath. I want to say a very big thank you to you.
Thank you so much.
Coming to share your life story.
Thank you, ma.
This is the heal. She's opened up her life because she felt she cannot bottle up. If she can't get a husband at 48, she can touch lives, she can become a blessing. Even if you have been raped, you have been molested, don't stay back and be crying by the rivers of Babylon. That's where we sat, here we wept. No, you can turn your mess to a message. You can turn your mess to a ministry. You can become a voice in the area of your woundedness. And people will get strength from the place where you are bleeding. From that wounded place. From that place of shame. Somebody else will receive strength from that place. You know what Jesus said to Peter? When you are converted, strengthen your brethren. That is the essence of the heals. When you are converted, you strengthen your brethren. When you are healed, you heal others. When you are restored, you restore others. That's the beauty of this episode. Don't forget, like, subscribe, share with people. Let people hear real people, real story, real reality. Let them take in this truth and run and soar. with it. Once again, I want to say thank you for having us in your various space, listening to us for this long hour. But I'm sure a word has come that resonated in you. Help is always available. I've said a lot. My name is Olufunke Adetuberu. Privileged to touch your lives, reaching out to you. I will definitely see you in the next podcast. Thank you for staying tuned.